Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Well, the big news today surrounding the Pope's visit to the U.S.-Mexico border were his harsh words that he had for Donald Trump.
E poi una persona che pensa soltanto in fare muri, sia dove sia, e non fare ponti, non è cristiano.
And in typical Trump fashion, he was very quick to respond.
No leader, especially a religious leader, should have the right to question another man's religion or faith. They're using the Pope as a pawn, and they should be ashamed of themselves. That's the Mexican government. They should be ashamed of themselves for doing so, especially when so many lives are involved and when illegal immigration is so rampant and so dangerous and so bad for the United States. Okay? Period. That's it. Period.
And joining me now, straight from the Vatican, Pope Francis himself with the response. Now, we know you've already given up the Pope mobile because you didn't want to seem hypocritical while you're pushing Agenda 21 on the rest of the world. But now you're saying those who build walls aren't Christian, and you yourself live behind massive walls.
Well, that is why I have a new name, a hypocrite. Because I live behind a big wall, you must take in the immigrants. Evil American empire.
And I always love that, you know, when you preach and extol how we should help the poor, usually you're doing it from a golden throne.
Yes, and we have lots of money, and don't worry that we smuggle cocaine in our Pope mobiles. Pay no attention to that, or the young boys that we pick up at the local train station in Roma.
Ooh, scandal.
Yeah, actually, Leanne, it really is disgusting that we do have this guy running around the world telling us and everybody else how they have to do their business. He literally lives behind giant walls.
Giant walls. Let's take a look at the pictures. I know we've got some B-roll. You were actually there. You saw these things in the flesh. They're 39 feet tall. They're
taller in other places. I mean, these walls are huge.
The original walls that were built in like the 800s, completed in the 800s.
They're super thick. You know, the Pope can seal off his entire kingdom if he wants to. He hasn't taken one immigrant in. You know, we're taking in Syrian refugees even at this point right now, mainly Muslims. I think we've only done 2 Christians at this point, and 600 Muslims this year. So, you know, for him to go around and just say this stuff and then attack Trump and saying he's not a Christian, he's not this, Trump's trying to change, I guess, you know, in his mind, he wants to change this country. He wants to change from what we are as kind of this, oh, whatever.
Come on in, here's a bunch of free stuff.
Here's a bunch of free stuff to go. No, we're going to seal our borders. We're going to change the way we do things. We're going to make deals that are beneficial to the United States. And, you know, hopefully he's not a warmonger.
We're not going to follow your New World Order agenda that you're pushing. And of course, the Pope wants to be the president of the world. And so let's take a look at these walls. So this is coming out of the Daily Caller. They break it down. And so the first 39-foot wall around the Vatican and its immediate vicinity was finished in 852. This was following a raid by Muslim pirates who damaged the city. That wall also helped to protect Pope Gregory VII about 200 years later when the Holy Roman Emperor besieged Rome. After Rome was sacked in 1527, Pope Paul III expanded the fortifications, and additional defenses continued to be built until the 1640s. And then in more recent history, the walls have served to literally wall off the Pope from the outside world, as popes in the late 1800s, early 1900s refused to leave the Vatican due to their denial to recognize the country of Italy. And now it just allows the guards to prevent any unauthorized access to the Vatican.
Well, and the Vatican's got their own bank. They're a completely autonomous site. They have diplomatic immunity. They can do pretty much whatever they want, and they investigate themselves. So when you have these sex scandals that come out, or these money laundering scandals, or they're finding cars, I think in France and in Germany, they found different cars that belong to the Vatican with like pounds of cocaine in them.
Right.
Okay, they're literally running drugs out of the Vatican, and yet he's going to tell us, he goes down to Mexico, tell them they're corrupt. He wants to just speak out against everybody else, but he's fine. He hasn't cleaned his house yet. So that's why it's kind of hard to go around and tell everybody else what they should be doing when your own house is a dirty cesspool.
Right, when you're surrounded by art and gilded structures and talking about
is an amazing
you need
place.
to help the poor people.
But it is creepy. As amazing as it is looking at all these ancient artifacts, especially like the golden statue of I think it was Samson, when that was the one that was saved when Rome got sacked. There's an interesting story there. But also the creepiness of some of the statues there, and then some of these hallways that are just like dark and nobody's going down them, and then you got guys walking around with machine guns, you got guys telling you to be quiet all the time. When you're in the Sistine Chapel, actually, they let just a few people in at a time, and you have these guys over loudspeakers, silence, be quiet. I'm like, that is the loudest thing going on here right now. People are in awe of the beauty that's going on, above them and all around them, and they're being yelled at. So completely hypocritical. I've been calling him Pope hypocrite now for a few weeks now, especially since he went to Mexico and just started spouting all this. And what's interestingly enough, when you listen to the Trump quote, he's saying, look, ISIS wants to attack Rome. They want to attack the Vatican. Leo Zagami has in his book, The Last Pope, he's even got a picture where ISIS put out this, piece of propaganda with their flag above St. Peter's Cathedral. That is a target.
Right.
And, that's why he has his walls. Exactly. And so we've got hordes of immigrants pouring in. We're just letting them come in. We don't stop them. Our border checkpoints are 90 miles away from the border. And that's just set up to harass people going to South Padre Island in Texas or coming in from New Mexico and Arizona over on the west side of Texas. Have nothing to do with stopping immigrants. They don't care about illegal immigration, because when they bring these people in, we've shown you before, they house them, they bust them all over the country, they fly them, they don't let them use IDs. They'll take them, let them get on airplanes without IDs. Right. It's total insanity.
Bring them to vote so they can swing the election in favor of the Democratic Party, at least this time around. And so now Senator Jeff Sessions, I guess the Pope's gonna be addressing Congress.
I wonder if the Pope wants to see the 28 pages. Let's get all the secrets out. Why doesn't the Pope call for the release of the 28 pages? If he's really concerned, because our foreign policy since 9/11, 2001 is based on 9/11.
Right.
Okay. Ever since then, all the countries we've invaded, everything. And now, but there's 28 pages that talk about who's been involved, which Donald Trump has come out and said, I'm going to release them. I want people to know what's going on there. And people are freaking out saying, oh, there's no secret memos. What are they talking about? It's the classified 28 pages, which we've got video of Jeff Sessions and others calling out Rand Paul, victims' families, saying we want it. Jeb Bush even wants to see it. He's even said, he asked Richard Reeves if he's got them. He wanted to know if Richard Reeves had them.
Oh, well, your big bro has.
Yeah, he made them secret, buddy. So why don't the Pope call for the release of the 28 pages?
You heard it here first.
I mean,
well, so when he was coming to speak before Congress last year, talking about wanting to sway immigration, climate change, the economy, and all these things, Jeff Sessions actually came out saying that this is dangerous, and actually spoke about him talking about not wanting to build a wall. He called him out, said, I would say that despite some of the biblical things, Nehemiah went back to Jerusalem and the Lord commanded him to build a wall. And, as we pointed out, the Vatican has a huge wall around it. And then he also says on immigration, maybe he wants to go to his home country of Argentina and ask them to take more people from the Middle East. They take almost none. Plus, has any socialist policy worked in Argentina or Brazil? Who do they call when there is a problem? They call the West, who has a free market system and has been able to create wealth. So again, that's what it's so important to do, is don't just take these people at face value for what they say simply because he's the Pope. He wants to be the leader of the world, the president. And it's bad when it's actually the Huffington Post, a leftist media website, saying that the Pope wants to be the president of the world. Francis is also campaigning to lead public, secular, political discourse worldwide.
Right. This guy has the gall. And if you look at his past in Argentina, he was involved in kidnapping priests. He didn't say anything. He didn't protect these guys when he said he would. There's all kind of just seedy stuff in his past. And that was when Argentina was running death squads. They were killing people, the peasants during these revolutions. And he was involved in it. Not saying directly involved in it, going around killing people, but he was involved as a political leader by not stepping in and saying no and not using his importance to sway people or even to protect them. There was two priests in specifically mentioned in Leo Zagami's book. One of them's dead now, but one of them, he won't say anything about it because he was silenced because he was speaking out, and then they took him away for a while, tortured him, beat him up, then let him out on the street saying, as long as you don't say anything, you're fine. And, you know, clearly that's the kind of people the Pope's involved with, you know? Right. So why should we take this guy? He's just as bad as any of these other dictators out there. Right.
And has all the child molestation incidents that we've now
get covered up,
thousands.
Yeah.
And then they just allow those popes or priests to go to different cities. They just kind of silence them and put them on.
It's going to transfer the problem.
You're on desk duty.
And this is an agenda that he hasn't come out and tried to stop. He hasn't said, no, I'm going to do a top-down, you know, cleaning house effect in Vatican City. He doesn't do that, but he wants to go around and lecture everybody else while he sits behind his walls with his golden hoard, and it's just totally disgusting.
Right, we actually spoke to some of the survivors there, to the women, when David Knight went to go cover the Pope's visit, and that's what they were saying as well. Why do you have people sitting in the front row who are involved in this scandal? They're being investigated. Why aren't we, the victims, sitting in the front row? Why won't you come talk to us? Why won't you recognize us?
Because that's not convenient for the narrative of you're bad because you're a human. We have to change our lifestyle. He's going to be all about preaching lifestyle changes, telling people they don't need air conditioning, they don't need cars, they don't need combustion engines, just trying to preach this utopia that technologically we're not there yet. We're not there to get, you know, have free energy, even though I think we could have it in our lifetime if the chains were released from these, you know, these other companies that are out there. But the Pope is just there to, I guess, control the unwashed masses,
right?
I should say.
Yeah, he's got the moral high ground, and he can push that. It's for the greater good. Push the consciousness of the planet to prepare them for the prison planet. Yeah. That the elite will, of course, be in control of all the resources. That's the issue here. I don't have a problem with saving the environment and saving the planet. And, I mean, I love this planet. It's a great place, but that's not, like you say, we could have free energy, we could have all those things, but the people that are in control and who want to maintain the control, they're not really for that. That's not their main mission.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much. And we're going to actually get Alex Jones' response to the Pope's hypocrisy and what he had to say about Donald Trump. But I wanted to first say a big thank you to everyone out there who has been supporting the InfoWar thus far throughout the years. Every time you guys go to the InfoWars store and purchase some of our products, we're able to send David Knight to go and confront the Pope there, Jakari Jackson. They get molested by the TSA trying to just get close to the Pope.
We had a crew of 5. We just sent down to West Texas.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is you're the reason why we're able to send reporters to go cover the stories that the establishment media will not touch.
And the products are great.
Yeah, we're going to be airing that report, an update on Scalia. They were actually able to speak with one of the sheriffs there who said that the protocol was not followed, which we've been saying that all along, is that there's a big issue with that. But I want you guys to go to the InfoWars store, get into these high-quality nutraceuticals. The Liver Shield is back, which means the #1 cleanse pack is back. I did this myself. I had tremendous success after the cleanse. I'm about to do it again, getting ready for bikini season, of course. And you're going to see some amazing results, just like I did. I know we've got my before and after pictures somewhere out there, but I think it's going to give you that little boost that you need to help change your lifestyle. It's those results. Oh, boy. I think you could use the cleanse pack there, Mr. Pope, or the Paracleanse, perhaps, and get rid of some of those demons.
They keep me warm at night.
Let's go ahead and see what Alex Jones has to say to Pope Hypocrite.
The Vatican has 200+ foot walls. Can we put a photo up of that for TV viewers? Or just Google Vatican walls. Biggest, thickest in the world. You go in there, they shoot you. He hasn't taken one refugee in there. We are being flooded. We are being shot up. We are being attacked. We are a joke, the whole world. We have to pay for everybody's health care. We're going bankrupt. They're taking old ladies' houses for back IRS taxes they can't pay, whether they be black, white, Hispanic. Who cries for them? And you sit there and you say, we're racist because we have the most open immigration system in the world? What a creepy, old, evil-looking man. Creeping around, socialist, dirtbag. Him and Bernie Sanders, you know, ought to marry each other. I mean, I am just sick of it.
So Trump responded just moments ago.
You know, honestly, the Vatican has massive walls around. We should build some walls like the Vatican. So perhaps he wants to move out of the Vatican. But if you look at the walls around the Vatican, I've been there, and those are walls.
Yeah, in fact, he's tweeting a whole bunch of pictures of those walls right now. Mr. Trump also saying, quote, it's disgraceful for the Pope to question his faith, and warning the pontiff that, quote, if and when the Vatican is attacked by ISIS, everyone knows that ISIS's ultimate trophy is probably the Vatican. I can promise you that the Pope would have only wished and prayed that Donald Trump were the president.
And it's time for humanity to stand up in the info war and say, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this, but you want to fight, you better believe you got one. We believe in win-win, folks, treating people like we want to be treated. That's why we develop nutraceuticals with Dr. Group and other top researchers, chemists, scientists, you name it. He's one of our advisors to come up with products like Anthroplex that is an original product that he made just for us. And this is a base system to make super male or super female vitality work even better. It is natural. It just helps get your body pumping and going in the way you need to be going. And Dr. Group is here till we go to break to tell us about the latest product at InfoWarsLife.com, Anthroplex, that out of the gates, and we do this all the time with a new product, we discount it out of the gates to get you to try it, knowing that you're going to love it. It'll sell out. So InfoWarsLife.com, Anthroplex, 15% off and free shipping for the next 2 days only when you get it with super male or female vitality. Let's go to Dr. Group. Why do you call this the foundation to start the fire, and then the super male takes you to the next level?
Well, we just look at the base problem that's going on right now in all over the world, which is the endocrine disrupting chemicals, the amount of estrogen that men have, the femininity of men, and what's going on even in children right now with low testosterone levels, low sperm count levels, and the problems that in the attack that we're seeing on the endocrine systems of both male and female. So I'm always looking for ways to boost that and to make it more effective and naturally get the body to start producing these hormones and balancing themselves. So what we decided to do was, how can we add a few other components in there that would actually boost the effectiveness of the super male vitality and at the same time address different issues that the male might have, so it would be a full approach. And one of those was zinc. And zinc is actually necessary for the production of testosterone. There's more and more studies coming out that zinc is essential for hormone balancing.
What is in the goat weed? You've got one of the purest, strongest organic forms of it. What's so magic about the goat weed?
Well, the horny goat weed was given that name because years ago in India, they noticed that the goat, a certain time of the year, this weed would grow and the goats would eat it and they would just go crazy with all the female goats. So that's how it was developed. It's called epimedium. And what that's been proven to do over thousands of years is increase sexual pleasure, help balance the male hormones. It can actually be used for women as well. But it really kind of resets and brings the hormone balance, improves sperm motility, and increases testosterone levels.
So it counters the stuff they've been throwing at us. Results will vary overall. All I know is dynamite. I mean, absolutely dynamite with the stamina, with the weightlifting, with the swimming. Folks, the new product is available. Anthroplex, available at InfoWarsLife.com. Dr. Group, thank you for developing this amazing product.
Thank you.